What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the Vigor Hero channel. It's your boy Cisco, and that sun is really bright and right in my eyes, but hey, we're just going to get this video done. We're not going to let that stop us. So today we're going to be talking about how when you are forming your new life or forming new habits and everything like that, why you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, or be, going back and forth between those habits and everything like that when on this journey. And part of it is, I feel like this video is going to be more of just like a motivational video in a sense. I don't know who really needs to hear this right now. I would say it's more so the people who are just starting off or have been wanting to make changes, considering New Year's is just around the corner, New Year's resolutions and everything like that. But when it comes down to it, right, when you are making changes, everything in this world is going to try and keep you in the place that you are at. So if you are smoking cigarettes, right, or you're, eating junk food too much, like eating sugars or whatever, there's nothing really wrong with it if you eat it in moderation, right? And you have a good workout plan and you're sticking to it. But whatever it may be, regardless of what it is, whatever it may be, whatever you're trying to do, when you are on that journey to making yourself the best version of yourself, when you are trying to cut habits, you cannot be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You can't go and be like, oh yeah, for 6 days out of the week, I'm not going to do said habit, but that one day of the week, I'm going to do it and everything like that. And, whatever it may be. Now, some people can go and just cut things cold turkey. That's what I tend to do. I really don't recommend it, just because you tend to be on a vicious cycle of going and not doing it for a prolonged period of time, and then all of a sudden you just break because something happens, life gets stressful, it becomes a coping mechanism or whatever the case may be, and you go and you do that thing because it helps you feel good. For me, after I quit smoking and drinking and drugs and all that good stuff, my main thing at the beginning of it was food. Whenever I was stressed out, I would just eat food, and not I would binge or anything like that, but I would go and I would just eat food as a comfort thing, to comfort myself, to be like, oh, I'm stressed, let me go and eat some food, and now I feel better. And then tied into my fitness goals, where at the time I wanted to cut weight, I wanted to get shredded and everything like that. And that wasn't going to happen because I'm over here eating comfort food, whether it was ice cream, whether it was, pasta, whether it was, cheesecake, whatever it may be, frozen yogurt, love frozen yogurt. For those of you who love it as well, shout out to you. But, whatever it may be, right? Obviously, if it's not within your macros, if it's not within, your caloric deficit, you're not really going to be able to make the progress. So with that being said, I would be good, 5 to 6 days out of the week. And then I would try and tell myself, oh, I was good 5 to 6 days out of the week. I can go and I can treat myself and I can have this. Now, you can do that. The best thing is to have things in moderation when it comes to things like fitness goals and everything like that. So yes, of course you can do that. But at the same time, when I was doing it, it wasn't just oh, here's my one cheat meal per se. It was oh, I'm stressed right now because of what's going on in my life, or whatever is happening, or whatever I have to work through, or whatever the case may be, to where it's oh, I'm stressed now, let me go and eat some cheesecake, or let me go and have some froyo, or let me go and eat a pizza, because that is what's going to make me feel good, because I've been, restrictive all this time, and I haven't, I've been disciplined, and I've been on my grind this whole time, that I just need something to make me feel good. And again, there is nothing wrong with that when it's every once in a while, but when it comes down to the fact that you want to change your life, you want to change things around, things aren't going to happen if you continuously fall back into old habits, whether that's eating a whole pizza in my case, whether that's, saying you want to go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, but oh, life is hard, so I don't, and I go only 2 to 3 days out of the week. You're still making progress per se, right? But at the same time, you can't go and tell yourself, oh, I'm not making progress because of, life is hard, or I'm not making progress because of this or because of that. You're not making progress because you're not sticking to it. You're not staying disciplined with what it is that you were trying to go after, right? And so with that being said, right, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That is what I'm saying, as far as you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's almost one thing that comes to mind is if you're trying to get out of debt, right? This is the analogy I'm going to use. If you're trying to get out of debt, right, you racked up a bunch of debt, maxed out your credit cards because your spending habits were, essentially just you had no spending habits, or you had no spending disciplines when it came to your spending habits, and you would just go and buy whatever it is that you wanted. In turn, you're in that position as far as, you know, the debt. Now you go, let's just say you take out a loan, or you're able to get some money to be able to pay that down. And it's like, cool, I'm, you know, right back at zero. I was able to get out of that debt, and now I'm right back to zero. Now, if you go back to those old habits and those old spending habits of what you were doing before to get yourself in there, obviously you're going to be right back into the same position that you were before. So it's not going to work. It's just going to be a vicious cycle to where you have those bad spending habits. If you go back to it, you're going to put yourself right back in the same position. Now, if you change your spending habits and you don't do those same things, you'll be able to move forward, get ahead, save money, you know, whatever the case may be when it comes to debt, right? When it comes to spending habits, money, financials, all that good stuff, right? This isn't a financial video, so I'm not going to get into all of that. But that is the analogy that I'm using, right? If you go back to the ways that you used to, or how you used to spend, you're going to get back into the same situation. So when it comes down to it, there's going to be everything in this life, in this world, universe, however you want to look at it, right? Where when you're trying to make a change, everything is going to be holding you back. You're going to feel like everything is telling you, no, you can't do that. You need to go back into your old ways. You need to go back into your old habits, because that is what the universe is used to you being in or doing. And when it comes down to it, how semen retention plays a part into this is that by doing semen retention, it's when you're trying to deny your flesh and you're trying to deny your sexual urges. That is, I think, hands down, probably one of the hardest things to do. Sure, people can argue with it and be like, oh, you know, quitting, you know, meth or heroin or whatever is definitely harder than semen retention, or, you know, whatever is out there that's like, oh no, this is way harder. I'm not here to argue with it. If you think so, by all means. I'm just saying semen retention, I think, is one of the hardest things to do, because it's your sexual urges. I can't even think right now. It is a feeling within your flesh that you want to satisfy. You know, you're tempted with it basically nonstop every day. There's probably never a time that you're not tempted with it, just based upon society nowadays and how we got, you know, women in the gym basically practically wearing nothing. Same for the men, practically wearing nothing with stringers and everything like that. It's the same thing if you really think about it. That's a whole nother video. But when it comes down to it, and your habits and what you're trying to work towards, everything's going to try and hold you back to it. And how semen retention ties into it is that you're building your confidence, you're building your discipline, because you're being disciplined with your sexual urges, which is one of the hardest things to do. So you're building that confidence, you're building that discipline, you're building that grit. You're able to take on and handle harder things in life. As you're on this journey, you're going to notice that the things that pop up in life that may seem to be hard, yeah, it's going to be stressful in the moment, but you're going to notice that you're able to navigate it a lot easier than you would if you weren't on semen retention. Why? Because you're taking that first step already to doing hard things. And so with that being said too, there's everything in this world is going to try and make you go back to your old ways. Do not do it. Stay on the path. Try your best not to fall back into old temptations, old habits, old ways, everything like that, and continue to press forward, because at the end of the tunnel, there's always a light, and that light is God, Jesus Christ, for one, because the reason why we're on semen retention, right, is to grow closer to God. He will be there to give you strength through it all, to be able to strengthen you through any temptation or through any hardship or any, you know, tough time in life. But at the other side of that tunnel too, where that light is, you're also going to see what you're actually made of and what you're actually capable of, to then be able to take on even harder things, or to be able to expand into other things, other areas of life, whatever it may be. You're going to be able to do it, and you're going to have the mindset to be able to help you get there and achieve that. And so that is it for this video. I hope it made sense. It was just something that I had on my mind that I just needed to get out, so I made a video about it. Something that I'm kind of experiencing right now, because I have a leg injury and it's bothering me, and I'm able to at least do upper body, so I'm not going fully crazy. But it is something that is just obviously with patience and time, but at the same time controlling what I can control, what I can eat, how I can work out, what movements I can do. You know, I can't even really walk. I can only walk like a total of 10 to 15 minutes at a time, like every couple hours, so that way I'm not putting too much stress on my foot. and things like that. So with time, patience, grit, fortitude, confidence, and discipline, you can conquer anything if you set your mind to it. So get out there. If you're just starting this journey, you got this. I believe in you. If you've been on this journey and you're like, yep, those are facts, I'm rooting for you. Keep on going, and go ahead and share in the comment section below what it is that you're striving towards. If I can give you any, piece of advice, any motivation, just know that I'm here for you. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button, because more content is going to be coming towards you. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.